Cooke Belanger. Do I say that correctly? Belanger?
Yeah, well, Belanger.
Whoa, French.
Belanger.
My husband is the French one.
Belanger.
Oh.
Well, it sounds more beautiful. Belanger. Wow, that's nice. Lisa, I've got some questions for you. First of all, where are you located?
I am in the city of Surrey, which is in beautiful British Columbia in Canada.
Oh, very cool. And who is the superhero who shared ErShred with you?
My best buddy, Andrea Lyon.
Andrea Lyon. I know the name. That's right. And so what was life like prior to ErShred? What was going on? Where were you, kind of thing? And I'll ask you this too, like, these are the three questions that I kind of hope to get at. What was life like before, and how's it any different now? What have you learned about yourself, and what have you been able to do as a result? Like, what's changed, you know?
So much. What was life like before? I think that I was a pretty fearful person. Lots of struggles with anxiety. I was a person who, I love to help other people, but I think there wasn't a lot of room in my life for me because I was pretty responsible for a lot of things that I didn't need to be responsible for, and a lot of people. That's kind of, I think, where my self-worth kind of fits. So super busy, taking care of a lot of other people. And, I had my kids young. And so my life has been, filled with kids, and I ran a childcare center. I love children. And so I looked after a lot of people. I'm very busy and active in my church, but I was very sick, I think, carried a lot of extra emotional baggage and weight, and that kind of was showing up in my body in the last, most of my adult life. It's gone up and down, but for the last few years, I was at my highest weight ever. But the biggest worry and concern for me, especially when COVID came, was my blood pressure. I was on blood pressure medication probably since my mid-30s. I'm 46 now. And the last 2 years before ErShred, I was in pain, all the time. If it wasn't my knee hurting, I was having headaches at night and I couldn't sleep. I would wake up with terrible headaches, just so swollen and stiff, and just I was looking up, I thought I might have had fibromyalgia. Actually, I was kind of self-diagnosing because I thought other people can't possibly feel like this, right? And I was actually a vegetarian the last year before, because my son is vegan, and so I thought maybe that was it. And so the last year was actually the worst when I cut meat out and started to eat more soy products and meat replacement products, and just I gained so much weight. My blood pressure I had to add more medication, and I just felt horrible. Yeah.
So give me an idea, and so we get to know you better. What is your passion? What would you say your main passion in life is?
I love children. I teach Sunday school. I love being with kids. I just love seeing them learn. And so I could hang out with 100 kids any day that's where my comfort is. That's where my joy is. I love being outdoors in nature. My husband and I like to cycle, and and this last probably year or two, I just love trying new things. That I'm kind of passionate about. Okay, I haven't done that before. It makes me uncomfortable. I feel a little scared. Okay, that's the one I got to do. That's kind of the last year or so. That's kind of what
See, Crystal needs to have you on her call, and then you guys can dig into all that stuff, because that's really what we're after. That's the human experience. So give us an idea, how long ago was it that you first learned about ErShred or started on that journey?
I think Andrea posted about it in November of 2020, and and it was kind of around maybe the first kind of one. It was seemed to be quite new.
October 3rd was the first,
Yeah.
so I mean you're right there.
Yeah. So I had been using Isagenix products. I've never sold any products or anything, but I've always used them. I was able to do like 1-day cleanses before. I lost a little bit and then gained it back. I just could never quite get a good rhythm going. And I could never do a 2-day cleanse. I always failed at 2-day cleanses. And so I'm not really a person that's like attracted to hype very much. So my friend Andrea, she's kind of the same. I trust her. And so when she kind of was sold into it and did it the first time and had a really good result, I was kind of like, this is interesting. And so, it was really because of that. And because I have a good, I just trust her. I trust her judgment. And she was like, you have to try this. This is amazing. I feel fantastic. She had such good results the first time. And so January is the first time I did a shred, right after the first Monday after New Year's. And it wasn't really a New Year's resolution thing. It really wasn't that. I actually had been like researching inflammation a lot because of COVID and was very fearful because of my weight and my blood pressure. And I was actually not like, I was like, I don't know how I would fare if I got this, to be honest. And that really scared me. So I had been doing a lot of research about inflammation. So that it wasn't even the weight loss aspect of it that attracted me. It was the learning about inflammation reduction. And I didn't really like, it just kind of all fit together. It flowed and it just made sense because of some of the things that I was researching. And really my first measurements weren't even like, I measured by my blood pressure. I was taking my blood pressure 2-3 times a day and tracking it. And it was more that was exciting me because I saw within a week of changing my diet, a change in my blood pressure. And on my cleanse days, I could see that my blood pressure was like lower than I had seen it in a long time. So that was really the measurement that I used, that and just how I felt physically.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't even the scale.
It wasn't even the scale, which we're really passionate about as well.
Yeah.
Because when people get too fixated on that the diet mentality kicks in, and next thing you know, whether or not we educate, whether or not we try our darndest to say this is not some fad thing. We don't want people just coming and going when they need to drop 10 pounds here or there. But it really is an empowering lifestyle. So in that first 11-day shred, do you recall what you did notice in terms of energy levels, anything else you might have noticed?
I actually journaled. And so before I came on, I thought I'm going to go back and read a little bit. The first few days I felt like hell. I wrote that. I was like, I'm really tired. I have a headache. My stomach won't stop making noise. But then I just remember I was so frightened of the 2-day cleanse. And I was like, this is where I'm going to fail. And the bone broth like totally made a difference. And I could not, I was so excited that on day 2, I was still standing and I was doing it. Like, I just couldn't believe it, that I had succeeded in a 2-day cleanse. So I waited for that 5-day kind of, people was like, come alive on your day 5, and didn't feel that at all.
Didn't have it on day 5. Did you ever have it?
I think actually probably my second shred that I did.
I hear that a lot.
My second shred. Yeah. But I mean, I stuck to everything just like to the T. I was like, I'm a rule follower and I followed every rule that, I don't know what to call them, but I followed the protocol exactly as it was laid out. And I think I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
You were just recalling, after that initial 11-day shred, you were just recalling the kind of benefits you remember.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember what it was. I remember I went up the stairs on like day, I don't know, I was halfway through, and it was the first time I noticed, because I had such pain in my knee all the time, and I had injured it like the December before,
Right.
not even like the early 2019. And the whole year I'd had ongoing issues with this knee. And halfway through the first shred, that's one of the biggest. I was like, oh my God, I went up the stairs and my knee is not like throbbing. I don't have pain in my knee. So for me, like the joint pain and that was huge. That was noticeable within the first shred for sure. And I did not want it to come back after that. So
Cool.
yeah,
So give us an idea of that. I mean, you're almost at the year mark.
yeah.
What's unfolded since? Like, what have you been doing? Have you done subsequent shreds? Have you adopted the lifestyle?
Oh, I am a lifer for sure. I have not, I mean, I've, had a little of this and a little of that, but I have what I know works is what I stick to. After that first shred, I started to reintroduce foods, and that's my parameters with what I know works for me. And anytime I sway from that, I feel it right away. So I stick to that. I have been because I was vegetarian before, I was struggling with reintroducing meat. I don't like the whole big factory farming. I've never liked it.
Right.
Really didn't like it with COVID, even seeing how people that work there struggled and suffered with things. And so I found a butcher it's an hour away, and I drive there once a month, and they use all local grass-fed, organic, sourced locally from small farms. They do their own research, and I was really excited about that. And I feel really good about supporting that. So I think having just that it aligns with my values helps me to just continue on as well, right? I don't feel like I'm compromising anything. So
Cool.
yeah.
What other have you noticed improvements around your ability to cravings?
That I cannot believe that I don't crave sugar. Like I
You
have
used to be a
struggled
sugarholic?
100%.
Ah,
I like that. I think the biggest thing for me is I have done so many different things through the years, as most people, Weight Watchers and all different stuff. And the struggle that I have had with, and the frustration that I felt, that you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to and you don't see results. And you think there's something wrong with you. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, you kind of get pissed off with your own body you're kind of angry with your own metabolism, your own body, and you feel, so I felt that for a really long time. And that's the probably within the first month to realize that I'm not thinking about eating things that aren't good for me. I'm not craving sugar. Like, food is not running my life.
yeah.
I'm not thinking about what I'm going to eat next. I'm not thinking, I just,
The difference between eating to live or living to eat.
totally. Yeah.
So you're eating to live now, and you know what your fuel is, and you fuel with that. Have you noticed anything around your overall well-being?
I just feel amazing. Like I used to have panic attacks. I used to have so many struggles with anxiety. I would be lying awake at night with my heart racing. I don't have any of that at all. I mean, some of that is also my own emotional work that I've done as well, but I just have but I know that food also triggered my mood, my coping skills, and physically responding as well. Like, physical responses to eating certain things would give me heart palpitations, or I'd have I could feel it. It would trigger my anxiety, and it wasn't even anything stressful that was happening. I'd eat something and I'd have a physical response to it. So to just have that stabilized and to be able to be regulated and feel like I have control and tools to use, and that I know what works for me because I'm listening to my own body. It's not because somebody has told me this, it's how I feel. That's what it is that I'm that's sacred to me now. I don't want to lose that.
It's
at
safe.
all.
You don't ever want to go back. That's right.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I get every ER shredder on here, by the way. Watch this. Everybody just clap if you know what she's talking about. See all the people clapping? We all get it. We all understand exactly what you mean. And just mad respect for you for taking back that control. You're a real life hero to me and to all of us, because you literally did something about it. You did something about it, and in a way you kind of saved yourself. It's pretty cool to think about. I hope you feel proud. I hope you feel proud of yourself, because you really should.
Thank you. I do. Yeah. Thank you.
Isn't it interesting, Lisa, how we all humans, we struggle with what? Self-love. I mean, unless you meet someone that just somehow, some way, they just love themselves no matter what. But I think we all struggle with self-love. And another big one is we compare.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's another hard one, because you see someone that obviously has a different body type than you, and somehow, some way they're getting away with eating this or that. And then you say, well, if they're eating it or if they're doing it, it's got to be healthy. But then you go down that road and it doesn't have the same effect on you. It's another gift of the ErShred, is that we're all like, we left it open-ended. I have no idea what is going to work for you. And that's the beauty of it, is you're the captain. Like, you get to steer your own ship. That's empowerment.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I that's what I like too. I really do. Like, it's mine. It's personal. It's, you know, I don't like what, I don't have to worry that somebody else is doing things this way or eating that, or, I mean, you know, there's the framework is there that you have to follow, or that I follow, but anything outside of that. And I just feel like I keep promises to myself now. Like, I never kept promises to I would keep promises to everybody else and totally be, but I always let myself down. I never kept promises to myself. And now I just feel like I'm important, that, you know, and that's just, I protect that, you know, like my time to take care of myself, because I'm important. I have to be important to me. And I never used to feel like that before. So I think that, like, that's a gift that is, I'm going to cry.
You know what?
You know, that's a gift.
It's a safe space to cry.
Yeah, that even like bigger than I've lost 55 pounds, and I just measured myself, and I've lost 45 inches all over my body. I didn't even know it was that much till I measured myself today. But just just the fact that I'm showing up for myself in my own life where I never did before. So
yeah. Are you pretty active in the community as well?
I watch all the videos, and I read a lot. I mean, I do read and comment. I haven't shared too much because I'm a little bit I'm not ready yet to sort of, I mean, I will talk.
Hey, you, as far as I'm concerned, my new thing is, like, if people want to be ErShred warriors, they don't just get through an 11-day. Like, I'm going to treat this Come Alive call as a rite of passage, because it's how you graduate from a hero who saves yourself. And now you are sharing that forward by doing this call. Lisa, you don't realize you spoke to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people on this call. And through the recording on YouTube, you can touch so many, and people will reach out to you, and they'll actually, and I encourage everybody to do that. Like, guys, we need to get better at human connection, because what's happened with the technology is, Bob and I were talking about this today. We need to go back in time, and we need to get back to that space where we actually take the time to call someone, take the time to write a letter, take the time to thank someone that had a positive impact on your life, and for what reason. And I hope we'll all do more of that. I hope that could be part of our cultures. Let's go back in time. You know, I'm watching my 16-year-old, and she's starting to date. And the dating scene needs to go back in time, because, like, when I went out with Crystal, I formally asked her out on a date. And I I took her a bouquet of flowers, like, because I was very old fashioned that way, is the way I was raised, was romantic and old fashioned. And there's so many things that we got to turn the clock back in time, and we need to get back to what is good and what is wholesome and what is thoughtful. And so just know that you being on this call is the rite of passage. So as far as I'm concerned, now you are an ErShred warrior. Yeah. So I just think that you are so badass for doing this. And I know it's scary. I know that life, anything you persist at doing becomes easier, not because the task gets any easier, but it's because your ability to do increases. And that's what's happening right here, is your ability to do is growing. And you just, when you start touching other people, Lisa, that's the manna. Like, that's the yummy, really delicious stuff, is when you start. Oh, so you're doing it right now. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to say before I let you go?
I just want to say how much I appreciate how like authentic this group is and real. Just, yeah, that is what has attracted me to stay and to be connected. And even if you don't share, there's people reading and watching, and it's they're processing it and they're absorbing it, even if they're not maybe speaking out about it, because it's hard to find places now where you can be vulnerable and you can be like a whole human.
Yeah.
We're not just like a body. It's not just about the weight loss. It's about so much more. So I see that in so much that I hear there in the group, and I appreciate that so much. So yeah, so thank you for all that you guys have done.
Make sure you check the chat. If any of you feel that Lisa touched you, please feel free to put it in the chat. Lisa Berger Oken says, Lisa, thank you for sharing here with us. Your non-scale victories are outstanding. You rock. So yeah, you do rock. All right, we love you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.